Imagine this, I'm sitting in my room, just me and my screen. There's no one around, no noise except for that voice in my head. Just click it. It's only one video. It'll make you feel better. I feel the urge clawing at me. My chest tightens. My hand moves closer to the mouse. I stop, and suddenly I'm at war with myself. The longer I resist, the louder the voice gets. And then comes the shame, not because I clicked, but because I wanted to. It's like there's a battle inside me, desire on one side, shame on the other, and I'm stuck in the middle, alone. But here's the truth I wish someone had told me sooner. Wanting something doesn't make me broken. Struggling doesn't make me weak. And I'm not alone. This isn't just about willpower. It's about understanding what's underneath the urge, emotionally, psychologically. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you've ever felt this inner storm too, stick with me. This video might just be the mirror you didn't know you needed. For the longest time, I thought something was wrong with me. I mean, why did I keep feeling this way? Why did I feel like a prisoner in my own body every time that urge showed up? It wasn't just about attraction. It wasn't about connection. It usually happened when I was stressed, or lonely, or just empty. I started noticing the pattern. Whenever I had a bad day or felt like I didn't matter, that's when the urge hit hardest. And for a while, I believed that meant I was weak, but eventually I realized something else. These urges weren't the enemy, they were signals. My brain was trying to protect me, trying to soothe me. Because it didn't know how else to deal with what I was carrying inside. Behavioral psychology calls this a coping mechanism. When we experience deep emotional discomfort, our brain often reaches for the fastest relief it knows. And for many of us, especially when we don't feel seen or safe, sexual release becomes that quick escape. Not because we're broken, but because we're trying to survive something we haven't fully understood. I used to shame myself so much for this. Every time I gave in, I felt guilty. And every time I resisted, I felt like I was failing anyway. It was a lose-lose game inside my head. But the truth is, sexual urges are part of being human. They're not bad. They're not dirty. What matters is how we relate to them and what emotional place they're coming from. Once I understood that, I stopped fighting myself so much. I started asking, wait, am I actually aroused right now, or am I sad? Do I really want this, or am I just trying not to feel something else? That moment of pause, it changed everything. Because when I could name the feeling, I didn't need to run from it anymore. And in that space, I started to build something I never had before, self-awareness. But the more I looked around, the more I realized I was being trained to feel that way. Everywhere I looked, there it was, a subtle pose, a suggestive ad, a perfectly timed slow motion scene in a random video. Even when I wasn't looking for it, it was looking for me. And it got to the point where I didn't even notice how automatic my reactions had become. 1 second, I was scrolling. The next, my mind had already gone somewhere else. At first, I blamed myself. Why couldn't I control my thoughts? Why was I so weak? But then I learned something from behavioral psychology that changed everything. Exposure equals conditioning. The more we see sexual content, the more our brain links that exposure to pleasure. It doesn't matter if we're tired, anxious, bored, or even uninterested. If it's been reinforced enough times, we respond almost like a reflex. That's not weakness, that's conditioning. Advertisers know this. Social media platforms know this. They design content to hijack our attention and our biology because sex sells, and our brains are wired to notice. It made me realize that this wasn't just a personal battle. I was trying to stay grounded while the world kept whispering, "Don't you want this? Don't you need this? You're missing out." And I started to feel like I had no control until I remembered this simple truth. I can't always choose what I see, but I can choose what I stay with. That's when I began setting boundaries. I unfollowed certain accounts. I muted certain stories. I took small steps to protect my mental space. Not because I was ashamed, but because I was reclaiming control. And guess what? It helped. Not instantly, but gradually the noise got quieter, and for the first time in a long while, I felt peace in my own body. There's something I wish I had learned way earlier. Sexual energy is still energy, and energy can be transformed. For so long, I thought I only had two options: either give in to the urge or force myself to suppress it. Neither of those ever worked well. Giving in left me empty. Suppressing left me tense, frustrated, and ashamed. But then I found a third option: redirection. I started experimenting with how I could move that energy somewhere else. Whenever the urge came, I didn't try to crush it. I tried to channel it. Sometimes that meant putting on my running shoes and going for a sprint, letting the adrenaline burn through me. Other times, I picked up my sketchbook and just started drawing whatever came to mind. Or I journaled uncensored, no filter, no shame. There were days I still struggled, of course, but the difference was this: I stopped seeing the urge as a command. I started seeing it as an invitation. To check in with myself, to notice what I was feeling underneath, to choose a response, not a reaction. That's where mindfulness came in. I'd sit still for 1 minute, just breathe. And instead of saying, "This is wrong," I'd say, "This is something I'm feeling. That's okay." Then I'd ask myself, what do I really need right now? Sometimes it was movement. Sometimes it was connection. Sometimes it was rest. And when it got overwhelming, I reached out, talking to a friend, a therapist, or even writing down how I felt. It made all the difference. Because holding everything inside made the urges grow, but sharing them, even just with myself on paper, helped them soften. Therapy, especially CBT, helped me understand my behavioral loops. It wasn't just about porn or desire. It was about how I learned to escape feelings I didn't know how to face. And CBT gave me tools to pause, reflect, and rewire those habits gently. I wasn't trying to become pure or perfect. I was just trying to become free, and every time I chose kindness over shame, curiosity over judgment, awareness over impulse, I felt a little more in control, a little more human. If you're struggling with this, I want you to know something I wish someone had told me earlier. You're not broken. You're not dirty. You're not too much or not enough. You're a human being navigating something incredibly complex in a world that rarely gives us the tools to understand it. Sexual urges are not the problem. The shame around them is. And when we start approaching them with compassion, with curiosity, with care, something shifts, the battle gets quieter, the pressure eases. We start listening to ourselves more and punishing ourselves less. I still feel the urge sometimes. I still get tempted. But now, instead of fighting it blindly or collapsing under it, I pause, I breathe. And I ask myself, what do I truly need right now? Sometimes the answer is connection. Sometimes it's sleep. Sometimes it's movement. But the one thing I always need is kindness. Kindness to myself. Kindness in the pause. Kindness in the messy middle. So if this is your journey too, you're not alone in it. I see you. I get you. I've been you. And you're allowed to grow without guilt. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story. What helped you manage your urges? What did you used to believe that you no longer do? You never know who might read your comment and feel a little less alone. So drop it below if you're comfortable. Let's create a space that heals instead of shames. Let's rewrite the narrative together. And if this helped even a little, hit the like button and subscribe to High Day Psych for more content on healing, self-compassion, and the psychology of being human. Take care of yourself. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you.